think it's working. That was a pretty terrible start to the stream, but I think it's working now. So can everyone put a 1 in chat if they can hear me? Don't know what was going on there, but anyway, thanks for joining the stream. First kind of proper stream on Coast Connection. It's just kind of like a nice opportunity to get any questions you want answering, because obviously a lot of the videos I do are quite scripted, so it's quite nice to do something that's I can just kind of ramble on. So big shout out to Theme Park Giraffe. We've got Adventure Aaron, got John. I've got a couple ones in the chat. Great. Yes, thank you everyone for coming. Yeah, I can see the numbers coming in. Happy days. How's the is the audio fine? Is everything good? Got who else we got? We got Harry from Coast Sport. Thanks for coming by. Got Jammy. We've got Alex in the chat. Big up, I know who you are. Yeah, thanks for coming in. If you have any kind of general questions about theme parks this year or about Coast Connection, feel free to kind of just drop them in the chat and I'll try and answer them. I'm good, Aaron. How's your day been? Doing all right. I'm not gonna lie, I have laid in quite a bit, so I haven't really done much today, but that's fine. Got to enjoy the weekend. Got Sloppy Vlogs in here. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. What's the latest with fun fairs then? I haven't really looked into fun fairs much. Any updates? Any updates on that? I'm doing good. Thanks. What's the plan for Coast Connection in 2021? Good question. I've got a few videos written down. Obviously, we're gonna have to wait for the season to open, and that'll kind of open things up a bit more. But I've got a few. I think I've got 4 or 5 different videos. I don't want to give away what they are yet, just because they can still change. But 2 or 3 of them are kind of like more history videos, looking back at some rides I think don't get talked about quite a lot. And then I've got the Tornado Springs will also be opening, as well as a bunch of other great rides this year. So that's going to be really cool to experience. I'm still working on like a short kind of documentary, just kind of filming and getting everything ready for that. But that won't be coming out until, I don't know, maybe summer, late summer. Oh no, it doesn't sound like fun fairs are doing very well, but we can hope they'll come back, hopefully better than before. Thanks, Alex, for the £5 super chat. First super chat on the channel. Let's go. Production quality is insane. You deserve 100,000 subs. Well, I appreciate that, Alex. That does mean a lot. Thanks for stopping by and supporting the stream. Is the audio fine? Because there should be some music in the background, and I've obviously got my microphone up here. Can you see Tornado Springs opening in March? Obviously, Paulson's Park recently announced that they're opening the park with Tornado Springs, which I think's on the 19th of March. And they were meant to be opening next month, kind of early next month. It's going to be close if they do. I think theme parks this year generally could have kind of a early April opening, potentially at the earliest. I'm really not quite sure. I'm excited for the Tornado Springs ad. Yeah, I did see that should be coming out next week, so that would be cool. I'm sure they'll do a great video for that. Audio's good. Cool. Perfect. Yeah, so any questions about theme parks, bit of Coast Connection, more than happy to answer them. Just chuck any questions my way and I'll try and answer them to the best I can do. It's been a bit hectic trying to get the stream ready, but I've had a good response so far, I think, and there's quite a few big ups to the people who are waiting for like a good hour in advance. I did see you waiting in the chat, so thank you for that. What other questions are there? Do you know roughly how much theme parks have lost during the pandemic? I'd love to know. I imagine it isn't a good statistic. I think. Well, honestly, I don't know. But I imagine they'll probably potentially increase the prices, just trying to break even. I don't think they'll be hit as bad as they maybe thought they would. I think they've been quite lucky last year with how much they could open. But yeah, I don't have much information about that, I'm afraid. Hopefully you should go to the media day, as I was invited. Yeah, I was invited to the Tornado Springs media day, but I doubt it's going to happen this year, sadly. Or if it does, it'll be a very last minute thing, because they did send out the invites quite like good 3-4 months in advance, and I think they'll be looking to trying to save as much money this year. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it'll be great. It'd be great to kind of get everyone there who's worked on the project, because I'm sure they want to show it off to as many people, make as much noise about it this year. So yeah, fingers crossed, still goes ahead. But we'll just have to wait and see. Seems like a lot of parks have lost out. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Apparently, Chesington World of Adventures has turned a profit. Free Park Giraffe. Interesting. Do you know much about your source when it comes to that? What are people's most anticipated ride for next year then? For me, it's probably Tornado Springs generally, just because they've put so much effort into that, and I think it has a lot of potential to do well at the park. Like, the whole area just looks insane. So cool. How many viewers have we got? We've got 17 viewers, not too bad. 13 likes. This stream was a very last minute idea, but I think it's going alright so far. It's more of a test, this stream, just to see how things go. I don't think I'll be doing loads of streams in the future, but we'll see how things do. Thrill Riders, thanks for joining the chat. Great to have you in here. Yeah, Tornado Springs is going to be insane when it opens. I'm going to try and book a pre-book to go on opening. Obviously, if that is when it does open on the correct date, we'll have to see. Do you expect Poltons to eventually get a big thrill ride in the future? It's hard to tell. Personally, in kind of the near future, I don't see anything massive happening in terms of thrills. Obviously, the Cyclonator is opening with Tornado Springs, and that's pretty thrilling in my opinion. So I do think, depending on how well the Cyclonator does this year, I think that could potentially change where they take things. But generally, I think they'll stick to the family markets. So yeah, that's kind of my opinions on that. What else have we got in here? Do you know what the capacity of the new ride in Chesington is? I don't. The only reason, well, the thing is with Croc Drop, or potentially that's what it's going to be called. Interesting name to say the least, but I'll move on from that. Obviously, Croc Drop is going to be a new drop tower at Chesington, which will hopefully be opening kind of early this year, potentially. But the version at Poltons Park, they also have the exact same drop tower. But Poltons Park generally doesn't get very busy, but Magma is one of the rides that always has a queue. So it's not looking too good in terms of the... I don't think it's going to have a very good throughput, but it does look like a really sick ride. Like it could be... It's great to see something like completely brand new for Chesington, because they haven't done that in a long time. They've done a lot of rethemes, so it's good to change it up, really. In terms of ride, I really want to get on Ultimate this year. Yeah, your favourite ride. The theme park wide is going to be Poltons for Tornado Springs. Yeah, I'd love to go to experience the Ultimate and go to that park. There's still quite a few parks this year I haven't managed to do, so it'll be cool to at some point. I doubt it'll be this year, but in the future, kind of look at other parks. I've got Charlie Patrick with a £5 donation. I recognise that name again. Big up, thank you for that. What is the channel planning on doing in the post-COVID? Well, hopefully I'll be visiting lots of theme parks, getting out more content, and hopefully this year will be much better than last year. But even if we are still in a COVID world, there's loads of videos and stuff I can do at home, like this live stream. So thank you for that donation. That's much appreciated. Big up my Warzone lumber gang out there who are watching right now. I remember for Coaster Sports podcast, Lawrence Mancy seemed to be a fan of launch coasters, so maybe one for the future. That would be cool. Poltons generally have quite a good lineup for their family coasters, because you got kind of a suspended coaster, you got Cobra. They got a pretty good lineup. I think the only coaster related ride they're missing is a launched one. So it'd be cool to see. I know there's like the quad bike rides; those look really cool. So I doubt we'll see new coasters, like a new big coaster at Poland's for quite a few years. But that would be the logical one to go with next. What would you like to see at Legoland Windsor after Mythica? Good question. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, the area they're kind of renovating for Mythica is well overdue. Ever since they removed the Jungle Coaster, which was like a good 10 years ago, probably even longer than that. That whole area of the parks really needed something. So I'm glad they're building in that area. The Flying Theatre should be really, really good. I've only done like Soarin' at the Disney parks, and if it's anything like that, it should be top notch. A launch coaster would be a great addition. Yeah, I agree as well. I've heard for 2022-23 that Chessington is going to get rid of Vampire. Interesting. So I was wondering if you had heard of any changes. I don't really hear much from Chessington in terms of rumours. Vampire, it must be on its last legs though. It must be struggling these days. It is a classic ride, but I do think it has been getting slightly rough. It's aged pretty well though compared to some other coasters, but yeah, I haven't heard much about that. I'm going to go by. Thanks George for joining the stream. I appreciate that. Even if people do join the stream for like 2 minutes to 20 minutes, I do really appreciate that. It does mean a lot. Yeah, I think it's going pretty well so far. I don't think Chessington can build on Vampire's land again if it was removed. Interesting. It would be quite hard to build on that area because it's built up so much. There's so many trees, so it'd be difficult. Charlie needs to up your game. Thanks Alex for the £5 again. I don't need the donations, man. You probably need it more than I do. Thank you though. Big up Alex. Love Vampire. Yeah, Vampire it's got a great layout. It's really long. It's definitely one of the highlights of Chessington, and if they were to replace it, they would have to build something that's as good, if not better. Behind where Twirling Toadstool is, I would like to see a new coaster. Yeah, that'd be a good spot. I'd love to see 13 with a launch at Polton's. Yeah, I think something along that lines, maybe longer, would be a good addition. Definitely. 13's a good ride. 13's a good ride, but it's just way too short. But I mean, if you get 13 and like Polton's theming kind of storyline, put that together, I think that could be a pretty sick ride. Let's check the chat so far. Thank you for everyone who's still watching and enjoying. Hope you're enjoying the stream. If there's any improvements or anything, let me know, because I do appreciate the feedback. Surely Chessington could easily build something better than Vampire. Honestly, yeah. These days, the coasters are so much better than Vampire is. Chessington, I mean, Croc Drops are good. They're going in the right direction, but they need to build more new rides, because I haven't been getting bored of the re-themes, but it just doesn't grab my attention, or isn't as exciting for me. But yeah, hopefully, I think the whole kind of the main, I don't know what it's called, the like main car park at Chessington, that whole entrance area and the big bit of land next to that, I think they need to just completely demolish the entrance and kind of use that flat land of the grass. And like if they incorporated a new entrance into the land, I think that would be a good way to kind of kick off Chessington's investments again. Obviously, that's if they get the money. And with the current, economic situation, I don't think we'll be seeing anything on that scale for a little while. Hope Vampire will make it to the big 40. Yeah, 40 years. That's crazy. I never realised it was that old. When is it? When is its 40th anniversary? What year is that? What do you realistically see Chessington building another coaster? I was kind of just talking about that. Honestly, the earliest, I reckon, kind of later this decade. Yeah, not a good 5 years at least, I reckon. Yeah, I haven't heard much. I don't get to hear much rumours about what Chessington are building, but yeah, it's a difficult one to judge with the current kind of economic situation and with obviously everything going on. Do you think Alton Towers should have gotten rid of Toyland Tours? It's a hard one to say. I did Alton Towers Dungeons last year for the first time, and that was a lot of fun, but it does feel really disconnected from the rest of the park. I think when they get to it, I think Alton Towers just need to look at that whole area and see what can they do with it. I think in the new David Walliams world, especially behind that area, I think there's quite a lot of backstage sections, but I think they could, if they cleared some of that, that could be the next kind of big area at Alton Towers. Vampire will be 40 in 2030. Okay, so still got 10 years. That's a tricky one. I don't think it will be around, or it'll be on its last legs if it gets to 30. 40th anniversary. I attended a presentation at Chessington years ago for the 5 and 10 year plan. Yeah, the local councils have put a cap on the number of visitors they can have in a year. Interesting. I did see they put out this plan quite a long time ago for the next 5 to 10 years, and it did include a potential coaster or a water coaster, but I think very little from that plan's actually been built. So I doubt that plan will continue as it has. It's a difficult one to say. What's my local park? I don't particularly have a local park. I sit quite nicely in between Poltons and kind of Fort Park, Chessington, so I can get to most theme parks down south kind of under an hour or just above. So I'm in quite a good spot generally to get to the different parks, so it isn't too bad. This is why they invested in hotels to keep guests for more than one day. Yeah, that would make sense. Definitely. I'm thinking of making a YouTube channel. Do you have any tips? I'm assuming you're talking about a theme park channel, but I'll kind of just I'll go over some of the main things. You just gotta try and be unique, try and discuss topics and things people haven't done before. And if you are going to do something which lots of people have done already, so let's say you're going to do a theme park vlog, try and look at that and say, how can I make this different to everyone else doing it? Is it my personality? Is it the type of way I do the edits? You just got to make yourself stand out from the crowd, and you just got to be consistent with uploads, really. And then you should get a bit of traction. It's very, I don't know what's the right word to use. You've got to keep on top of it. Got to keep going, and then you'll eventually get some progress. But yeah, I hope those tips help. What is your best theme park in the UK? I think all around, I'd probably say Alton Towers, just because their lineup of coasters and rides is so good, and it's just generally one of the bigger parks. And yeah, it has been going down, I'd say, in my rank in terms of my favourite UK theme park. But in terms of the rides I enjoy, probably Alton Towers. But in terms of the best value for money and the best kind of themed rides, I'd have to go Poltons for close second. Even though it isn't really in my age group, I can still go there and have a good time. And I know for a lot of young families, Poltons they prefer over a lot of Merlin parks. You have a theme park channel. I'm not very good. I think I've seen some of your videos, Adventure Aaron. I've seen you've been very active on the channel the last few months, so I appreciate that. Yeah, you just gotta keep at it, try different things, experiment, see how they go, see what works. If you already have a channel, I'd recommend using something called TubeBuddy or vidIQ. Those are great to kind of optimize your videos so they rank well in search terms and various other bits. Have you been or seen any international roller coasters of interest? I've been to Orlando a few times. So I think I went last in 2016, but their coasters there they're so good. I would definitely recommend going, but it is really expensive to get out there. I haven't done much in terms of Europe. Been to Disneyland Paris, done their rides. I did in the summer of last year, whilst I was kind of going around Europe for a bit, I did manage to stop off at Wallaby Holland, and actually it was a very last minute thing, but I managed to get there when Untamed just opened. But that is like my favourite coaster. It was such a good ride. I wasn't feeling too best that entire day because I was a bit destroyed from the previous week that I'd been traveling, but it was such a good coaster. Thanks for the tips, no worries. If you have any more questions that are more specific, my DM's always open on social media, so I'm always free to ask any further questions. Do you know what the new ride is behind the Cyclonator? I don't know much about that. It does look like it's going to be like a small kiddie coaster. Lawrence Mancy, I think, posted a tweet saying they're already working on something for 2022. And if you do, I may potentially make a video about this, but if you do look at Paulson's Park's investments, they do follow a pattern, and 2022 would be kind of their small medium investment, and that would fit nicely into the small kiddie coaster. So potentially I think a small kiddie coaster, they haven't obviously announced anything officially, but that's, from the looks of it, that's my best guess. I wouldn't call Paulson's Park value for money. Yeah, true. That's probably the wrong wording. It is expensive, and they don't really do deals like Merlin do, but it's because they have that such high price cap that they can build these amazing rides. And I think, obviously I don't know about how the parks are doing financially, but I think Paulson's Park must be doing well because they keep investing in such large scale rides and attractions. What's the best roller coaster in your opinion? Like I said, kind of like 5 minutes ago, Untamed for me, it was so good. It had great pace, great airtime. It was my first RMC I did, so I could see it, like after riding it, I could see why people rate them so highly. It'd be great to see one of them come to the UK. I don't know what theme park it would fit though. It's such an interesting coaster type, and I don't think many theme parks in the UK would be looking at that for the next coaster. Efteling is sick. Yeah, I've heard good things about Efteling. I would love to go there. There's a few theme parks in Europe that I'd like to head out to. Efteling is definitely one on my list. Cedar Point has the best coaster lineup. Yeah, Cedar Point looks insane in terms of coaster. The coaster lineup. What's the other one in Europe? Is it Energylandia? They're slowly becoming the next kind of European Cedar Point. They're just building coaster after coaster. It's insane. How do I make my thumbnails? I use a combination of Photoshop, and then sometimes I use a bit of Canva, which is actually free if you want to use it. And I use Canva for some of my other like kind of social media posts. The animated Darren Brown video was dope. Yep, big up Alex, who Alex in the chat actually helped me with that video. Big up. Peppa Pig World is actually sick. Yeah, it's a good area for young people. Peppa Pig World did so much for Poltons. Like, I think it doubled their visitor numbers in a year, which is just insane. And it's still the most popular area of the park when you go any day. Annual passes at Poltons Park so expensive. Poltons Park isn't cheap, but I guess that's just how they are able to spend so much in new rides, is because they have such a high price. Have you ridden Taron? No, I haven't. But that is again another bucket list thing I'd love to do. But I just don't have the time or the money currently. So you mean we should be expecting a Wild West themed area in 4 years' time. No, I don't have any insider knowledge I could spill or that I know of. I'm afraid not. I do think in 2024, I think that maybe if you look at their pattern of when they're investing, I think that's when they could be building the next big area. And hopefully they do on the other side of Tornado Springs, because I feel like they've invested a lot on that side recently. I use Canva. Yeah, it's quite good. It's good considering it's free. It's not too bad. Peppa Pig World is lit. You know it. You know it. If you had enough money to build a theme park in the UK, what area would you build? Good question. I would love. I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking and speaking at the same time. I'd love to see kind of almost like a jet ski launch coaster at Thorpe Park near Amity Beach in the front. So as soon as you walk out, you get a really cool view of this coaster. And it could be almost loosely themed to kind of the Jaws films and that kind of era. And I think that would fit in nicely with Amity Cove. And it'd be a good, like, decent family thrill coaster that I think Thorpe Park are missing. I don't think it could or should be their next coaster. But in terms of looking down the line, I think that could be a really cool and nice fit. If you ever go to Poland, do not miss Lek Coaster. It's supposed to be rated higher than Hyperion. Okay, as an overall coaster, yeah. I wanna. There's so many parks in Europe that I would love to go to. Definitely on the to-do list. Worst roller coaster. Ooh, I'll get a load of slack for this, but I don't really care. But the wooden coasters at Blackpool are literally, they're not fun. I've only been to Pleasure Beach once, but I think the big one, I was on the back row for it, and it was just not enjoyable for 1 second. Like, I could appreciate the nostalgia people have for it, and it is a very iconic coaster, but it was so rough, painful. It just wasn't a fun ride. There's not too many good parks to get to in Europe right now. No, there isn't. Can't really travel anywhere at the moment, so don't expect to be going any of them anytime soon. Charlie Kirkpatrick in the chat again. Do you ever want to go to any Six Flags parks? I'd like to. Magic Mountain, California, that looks good. So if I ever travel to California, I'd love to go to that park, as well as Universal Studios, and I think there's a couple other parks around there. My worst roller coaster is Hero. Yep, that's the first time I've heard that. It was the roughest coaster ever. Yeah, I've heard so many bad things about Hero. It doesn't sound like too good of a coaster. Is Hero's the one at Flamingo Land? Am I right in thinking that? Flamingo Land's still one I haven't done in the UK. Obviously, when they build the new roller coaster, which should be opening this year, that will be a good excuse to kind of get down there and experience all the rides over there. Right. How many viewers we've got? We've got 20 viewers. Thank you everyone who's stopping by. If you're commenting in the chat or you're just stopping by for, I can't speak today. If you're stopping by for a few minutes or you're staying for most of the stream, thanks for joining me. It's been good fun so far, and yeah, I appreciate it. The start of the stream was a bit rocky, but I think it's going all right at the moment. So many smaller European parks are getting amazing coasters, yeah, which is fantastic, but it means there are more parks to visit, to hit in all of Europe. I'm reading that wrong. Yeah, definitely. It's difficult to keep up with the news in Europe. I'd love to go. Well, I'd love to talk about more news worldwide, but honestly, there's just so much constant announcements and news that I can barely keep up with the UK news, let alone European or worldwide news. check the stream on my phone. Maybe 2 seconds. Okay, yeah, we're looking good. Subscribe. Great to see one with such passion. Hey, thank you. Great work. Thanks a lot. That means a lot. Thank you. Thanks for joining the chat. This is my first live stream, believe it or not. It's going alright so far. Thank you. Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of news. Exactly. Yeah, hard to keep up. How long have we been streaming so far? Half an hour, okay. I'll probably be streaming for I'll probably stop streaming around 5 potentially. I'll see how it keeps going, and then I'll probably wrap it up around just before 5. Would not have guessed it was the first one. Hey, thank you. Just kind of a general what am I saying? Just kind of general overview of the channel. Basically, what I mainly do is UK theme parks. Whenever new rides are out, I always like to film them kind of in the best light. With editing, I try and do a lot of animations and try and make it as different to what anyone else has done on the kind of YouTube community before. I mainly focus on news for UK theme parks. I think quite a lot of people know me for kind of construction updates and things along that line. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, I'm glad you can stick around on the channel and enjoy future videos. You're planning on getting guests on some future streams? Well, I don't know if I'll be doing future streams. I will do at some point in the future. I don't currently have any plans to do multiple streams in the future. This one was kind of just a nice test, as well as a Q&A to kind of get people to ask questions about myself or Coast Connection, just because obviously a lot of the videos I do are scripted, so I don't really get many opportunities to kind of just chat to people who are in the community or who are subscribed to the channel. But potentially, yeah, it could be a fun idea to get more people on. I guess that'd give me more stuff to talk about as well. But yeah, today's just kind of a test stream to test out the Q&A and the live streaming to see how it goes. I'm amazed how easy it is actually to live stream. The reason why I've never tackled it before is because I thought you'd have to pay like hundreds of pounds to get a good streaming software. But I'm literally just using OBS, and I literally set this up in less than a day. It's been really easy to do. So yeah, that will most likely lead to more streams in the future. How did you originally get into theme parks? So I kind of just, with my family, I've always enjoyed going to theme parks. And then slowly over time, when I was at theme parks, I'd film a little bit on my phone. And then I just started uploading it to YouTube, and they gained a little bit of traction. I've also always just been interested in kind of social media, kind of digital marketing, as well as filming. So kind of all of them naturally just collided into a YouTube channel. And then I think this channel has been up for a good 5 years now. It used to be called Theme Park Capital back in the day. Shout out if anyone's all the way from back there. I doubt there's many still from then. But yes, it used to be called Theme Park Capital. It was just random, like your typical theme park POVs off rides. And then I'd say within the last 3.5 years is when I changed it over to Coast Connection, which is where I'm doing it a bit more professionally now. And then we are here today doing a live stream on Coast Connection, which is really cool. Would you like to see a Warzone theme park? Not quite sure about that one, Alex. But I'm sure in your theme park, if you ever created one, I'm sure you'd have a whole a lumber downtown area just dedicated to your favorite area on that map. Have you heard of a game called Planet Coaster? Yes, I have. It's the best game for building theme parks. Yeah, so I actually did a project last year with CoasterBot, who's still in the chat, and we called it Community Canyon. And I basically worked with a few other great creators on the kind of YouTube scene, and we made a virtual theme park whilst we were on the first lockdown. That was such a fun project to work on. I can't wait to look back on it. But yeah, Planet Coaster is such a good game. It does get quite a bit of hate recently, but like when you compare it to Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 and that jump to Planet Coaster, the amount of things you can do in it is just insane. But I would play more Planet Coaster on my computer, but unfortunately it can barely run it. So when I did the group project back last year, I was only able to help out in small bits. So I got a good taste of the game, but unfortunately I can't really build a park bigger than like, I don't know, the entrance area, and then it just starts to crash. But when I do get my PC eventually upgraded, that's definitely something I'm gonna re-download. What other questions do we have? This live is very professional. Thank you, Adventure Aaron. That's much appreciated. Feedback Giraffe, your channel is generally amazing. I appreciate that. Thank you. I do love making videos for this channel, and the fact I get to do them about theme parks is even better. Have you finished university yet, or what do you plan to do career-wise? So I actually work full-time at the moment. I do digital marketing. So I've been doing that for just under 2 years now. So I've been slowly learning stuff about how to kind of optimize videos and all things digital marketing. I do a lot of SEO stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. So I've been bringing that slowly to the channel. So hopefully I'll be able to push Coast Connection a bit more with the little hacks that I know about social media. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. It was actually because of Coast Connection I was able to get that job. I was able to show them, you know, I can produce videos, stick to a schedule, and the people I work with were really impressed that I was able to gain like over 1 million views whilst I was in school. So it's because of Coast Connection I was able to get into the career path I wanted to, and I gotta give it to all of you guys for being those numbers and continuing to come back to watch videos. So I appreciate it. You deserve more subscribers. Thank you. He definitely deserves more subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate all the nice comments. It's very nice. I'm gonna try, and some of the videos I got scheduled for this year that I'm planning to make. They're more kind of sensational videos, so they may be a bit more, not clickbait. I never want to do clickbait. I want to try and do everything legit. But there may be a bit more kind of open-ended videos and questions. So hopefully through doing more of these types of videos, I'll be able to get more audiences and new people to kind of find out about Coast Connection. So you should start to see some of those videos popping up kind of from March onwards this year. Favorite theme park merch? Generally, I'm not into theme park merch that much, to be honest. I do have, you can probably see potentially some of them in the background. I do have quite a few of the resins. They're quite cool. I like them. So I'd probably say the kind of Merlin resins, they're my favorite theme park merch. What's your favorite? I'd love Flamingo Land, the creative process of creating stories. Yeah, I'd love to be part of creating a theme park. If that's just through like digital marketing or any other way I could help out, I'd love to work at a theme park at some point. But for now, I'm just slowly building up my kind of career and experience in that industry. And then potentially, hopefully one day, I'll be able to work at a theme park doing something related to that. What is your favourite type of ride in a theme park? Well, it has to be the coasters. You can't go wrong with a coaster. They're great fun. My favourite type of coaster model, it's difficult to say. I don't know if many people know this about me, but I'm not as kind of dedicated or as crazy to theme parks when it comes to like counting credit, like ride creds. I don't do that. I don't really have like a top 10 or a top 15. I just like going to theme parks, really. So I don't really have a particular favourite ride coaster type. The winged coasters like the Swarm, those are quite cool. Those are probably my favourite. Mine is Bubbleworks mug. Yes, I went. I was lucky enough to do the behind-the-scenes tour they did for Bubbleworks just before it closed. It was actually such good value because I think it was like 25. It was like £20 per person, and we basically got a tour of Bubbleworks. We got like a whole goodie bag of like Bubbleworks merch, which was easily worth like £30. That covered the cost alone. And there was a really epic staff guy who was playing Professor Bubbleworks, who's kind of like the main character of the ride. But yeah, that was such a cool experience to do. It is a shame Bubbleworks is gone. It was such an iconic ride. But obviously things age, and we've got to move on. Do you enjoy water parks? Been to a couple in the US, and then my favourite. I'm not particularly, Charlie. I generally prefer theme parks much more than water parks. Saying that, I haven't been to many water parks, but I'll definitely be up for going into a few more and trying them out. I think there's quite a few in the UK which are not too bad, but I know in America they have the crazy water slides which are just insane. But yeah, 45 minutes into the stream so far. Hope everyone's having a good time. I appreciate you stopping by. Big shout out to Theme Park Giraffe, Adventure Aaron, Coasterbot, as well as Alex and Charlie who've been here from near the beginning. So thank you for sticking with me rambling on for a good 45 minutes. The original Bubbleworks was so good, by far the best version of the ride. Yeah, I'd have to say so. The Gruffalo replacement is good, but yeah, it's like the main problem I have with the Gruffalo is the way the ride was built is because you're constantly spinning on the ride vehicle. You are constantly having to look around, and your perspective is constantly changing. And this worked fine with the Bubbleworks because it was quite a vague storyline. You could get the gist of what was going on just from looking at the room once. But the problem with the Gruffalo is the scenes are on one side and you're constantly spinning around. So you're constantly like breaking your neck just trying to keep up with what's going on. And I think that's where the Gruffalo doesn't work as well. Got a whoop Coasterbot. Hey, big up Harry. What do you see next for Drayton Manor as they are now owned by the Looping Group? Yep, so they that obviously happened recently in the news. Well, I say recently, it was I think it was at some point last year. I don't have a particular guess on what they would build. I just hope they build anything because in the last few years Drayton Manor have just been removing or closing rides left, right and centre, so they need something to put Drayton Manor back on the map. I've gone once to Drayton Manor, that was back in 2017, but the thing is it's because it's quite far from me, there isn't a big enough pool for me to go there. There's nothing there that interests me enough to take the plunge and do the visit. So yeah, I think it's a difficult one. They need maybe like an expansion of the Thomas Land they have there that may be able to bring back some guests. But poor Drayton Manor, they haven't had a good few years, but hopefully they can get back on their feet. Miss Bubbleworks so much. Yeah, it's some of the rethemes that have happened across the UK. I haven't missed that much in terms of what they used to be, but Bubbleworks is one of the ones that I still kind of miss. If your channel wasn't called Coast Connection, what would it be called? Good question. I don't know what it would be called. Coast Connection, when I came up with the name, I literally just put a few random words together and I was like, boom, Coast Connection, you got a name. But the way I kind of rephrase it now is the whole point of Coast Connection is I'm meant to be like connecting people with UK theme parks. So that's kind of the reasoning behind the name. But when I first made it, I literally was just chucking words together to see what sounds right. If you could create any themed coaster, what would it be and why? Difficult to say. I'd love to see a coaster at Chesington. Chesington, when they first opened, they had a lot of kind of realistic areas. So you had like a Mexican area, different, basically themed to different parts of the world. But more and more recently, they've been going to a lot of fictional places with fictional characters, fictional areas. So I'd like to see kind of like a Lost City, Atlantis kind of theme at Chesington. And then obviously that'd work in quite nicely with the zoo aspect. So I think a coaster themed to like the Lost City, I think that could have a lot of potential. Right, I'll probably start to wrap up the stream in about 10-15 minutes. So if anyone had any last questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. Is the music still going? Should be. What theme parks are people going to head to first then when parks are open again? A wooden coaster would be great at Chesy. Yeah, that could be cool. I definitely think some theme parks in recent years were considering to add a wooden coaster, but I think plans changed and other things were built. So yeah. I'll be honest though, when I usually go to Alton Towers every 2 or 3 years maybe, and I managed to do Wicker Man in the dark for the first time, which was really cool, especially with the fire effects. It was raining, so the ride was going pretty quick, but I did find it quite rough, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of wooden coasters, but Wicker Man is a great addition to Alton Towers. I do rate it quite highly. I completely agree with you. Chesington needs some more realism and realistic themes. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the new direction they're kind of taking the park. I did like how each area was themed to a different part of kind of the world or kind of a theme. I feel like they're losing that a bit, which is a shame, but I can understand why they're having to do it. So dark so quick. Very depressing. Just going to scroll back through the chat, see if there's any questions I missed. Thank you for everyone who's still here. I appreciate it. We had a question on the London Resort. So I'm really excited for the London Resort if it happens. That's the big question, if it happens. If you don't know what it's about, quick overview. It's a new theme park that potentially could be opening up near London, and it would have different rides and attractions themed to Paramount, ITV and BBC, and they recently submitted their plans for the park. One of the things I was a bit shocked by was they said they were going to submit the entire plans for the project by the end of last year, and they waited until the 31st of December to submit that. So that's a little bit worrying that they had to wait that long, but I guess they kind of want to use every bit of time they have to kind of make sure it's all perfect and ready to send off. But yeah, I did think that was a very last minute decision. I gotta go. Awesome first stream, dude. I look forward to future ones. Thank you, Harry, for dropping by. That really does mean a lot. I appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you soon. Cool. Hopefully the London Resort will make Merlin up the game. Yeah, I think if the London Resort does get built, I think it will really make the other parks have to kind of reevaluate everything the park has to offer, and hopefully that will mean they get a bit more funding to build more rides. I hope with the London Resort they changed the names of the different areas, because they seemed quite generic when they announced it. They obviously haven't announced all the details, especially in terms of each of the different rides. But yeah, I hope they change the names because they're really generic names. I think it's 2024 when the park potentially could or should be opening. So that's not too far away in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, the project's had numerous delays and problems. So in the past, I have thought it won't get built, but with the new kind of management and kind of direction it's going, I do think it has a really good chance now in terms of being built. I really have gone off Chesington. Yeah, I haven't been enjoying it as much lately, but I think Croc Drop could be a good attraction to get me back in, interested in Chesington again. Yeah, definitely. I hope they keep some of the water effects and features on Croc Drop because I've seen some of the latest construction for that, and they're meant to have some kind of water fountain near the crocodile mouth, and I think there's going to be some statues either side of the kind of main attractions entrance, but it doesn't look like they've installed any of that yet, so hopefully that still does get included in the project. Hopefully it hasn't been cut. Are you looking forward to Tornado Springs? Yes, I am. It's looking good. It looks finished. I think it is finished, and I think they're literally just waiting to open it up with the season this year. I think Poultice Park is definitely the park to watch. And the reason I try and cover theme parks evenly in terms of videos I make, but the reason I've been making so many Poultice Park videos is just because they're the ones investing the most, and that's the projects I'm most interested in. They definitely deserve as many visits and all the publicity they can get because they really do put a lot of effort and time into their projects. I think they're keeping it simple with the names. They all seem to be one-worded names. Yeah. I imagine they're potentially just kind of placeholders to say this kind of area will be castle themed, is like a wild woods, and that sort of thing. Let me see if there's any other questions I've missed. Any last questions before I wrap up the stream will be great. If there's anything I've missed or you still want answering, always feel free to contact me on social media. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. I think I've covered pretty much everything that's been put in the chat. Tornado Springs really seems to be giving off the rest of the UK industry a bit of a push. Yeah, I think so. I still think number-wise, more people still go to like Chesington and Legoland, but generally the people I go to theme parks with aren't like enthusiasts, if you will. But a lot of, especially from work, a lot of like family friends and people, young children who I know, a lot of them have gone to like Legoland, Merlin parks, and then have been put off by like the whole experience due to various reasons like paying for parking and those kind of things. And then they've gone to Poultice Park and really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of people are going to other places other than Merlin just because the user experience and kind of, I don't know, the day-to-day visits they've been having haven't been too great. In my opinion, it's only Vampire that keeps the park alive. Yeah, Dragon Fury is still quite good. Haven't been on that for a long time. The entrance to Dragon's Fury is like the worst location. Thanks for a super chat. We got Simbad Rides Again for £5. That's I've had quite a few donations in this stream, and it's just insane to think people are donating. Thank you so much. What is your bucket list coaster? Good question. There's a lot of answers I could give to that. I just got to think about it though. I mean, I did Untamed, which was an RMC, and that did extremely well. That coaster was just insane. So I'd like to try some of the other RMCs. Lightning Rod looks insane. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to go to Orlando this year. And Iron Gwazi looks in Busch Gardens Tampa. That looks really good. So I think I'd have to say Iron Gwazi and potentially the Velocicoaster at Universal Studios Orlando. So fingers crossed I'll be able to do that this year. But yeah, once again, thank you for that super chat. It's much appreciated. James has said, have you seen the blue barnacle? I believe it's slightly smaller than the black barnacle. I honestly can't speak today. I think that's a sign that I need to start finishing up this stream. Yes, I have seen some pictures of it. It's good they're keeping it and not just removing it. Alton Towers really need to replace or fix their flat rides because they're in desperate need of flat rides. I don't know why there's such a stigma about flat rides in terms of, like, especially Merlin building more. I really don't understand why. But you know, the new pirate ship, I'm glad they've kind of replaced it. It looks a lot more colourful and kind of more in line with Chessington's demographic than the previous one. So yeah, it's great. It's great they're still investing in adding that. Oliver, thank you for the £25. That's insane. Thank you so much. Crazy. Untamed and Lost Gravity are great at Wallaby. Yeah, I got to do them both when I visited in the summer of last year. Such incredible parks. What's your favourite ride at Wallaby Holland? Thank you for the 25. That's crazy. Thank you. You also put, I don't think Merlin has done a good job in the past 2 years. Yeah, especially with the new Merlin passes. Yeah, that's a whole nother debate and topic, the new Merlin passes. I can see why they put the prices up, but I think they've been a bit too ambitious with the prices. I'm not a huge fan. Luckily, my season pass obviously gets extended because over lockdown they've been doing that with the passes. So mine doesn't run out until later this year. But it's definitely going to make me think twice. Do I actually need this type of pass, or do I even need an annual pass, really? I don't know why they've removed so many flat rides. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why. Especially Alton Towers. I think the main reason I've heard before why they haven't been building new rides in terms of flat rides is because they think they can't market them. But I think some of the newer flat rides that have come out are so visually pleasing and insane that I think just from watching them and the looks alone, I think they could literally sell themselves. So hopefully with like the introduction of the Cyclonator at Poulton's Park and some of those other small rides, hopefully some of the other parks will look at that and say, actually, maybe we can invest in a flat ride, because surely they must be cheaper than some of the other things Merlin parks have been building. Are you thinking of doing more streams? This one seems to have gone really well, so I probably will be. Not sure what I'm going to be talking about, or will be just kind of another Q&A. But yeah, if you want to see more, you know, if the demand is there, I'll happily do it. It's really easy to make videos. Live streams, sorry, compared to a video. The setup was so quick and simple. The longest bit was trying to make the graphics, but I've done that now. So yeah, if you want to see more live streams, I'm more than happy to do them. What do you think, Goliath? What do you think of Goliath at Wallaby Holland? I thought it was good, but I think it was a bit overhyped, to be honest. Still a solid. Don't get me wrong, still a solid ride, but it's nothing to go shouting about. I don't know. When I was younger, I did play a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and obviously that park is one of the rides they included in the game, so it is a very iconic ride for myself and generally. But yeah, I thought it was a bit overhyped. I think someone asked this earlier, but are you scared of any rides? Not in particular. There are still some like every time I go on a coaster, when you're going up that lift hill, my heart rate still really increases. So not in the sense you're probably asking about, but like some coasters, especially like the bigger ones, still get me pretty spooked, to say the least. Goliath is great. Yeah, I just got a bunch of bugs in my face. Honestly, yeah, it's a crazy ride. How good is the Rocking Roller Coaster in Orlando Studios compared to the UK coasters? I went on it when I was younger, and it sticks out as my favourite I've been on. Interesting to know, Charlie. Yeah, so Rocking Roller Coaster, they have one in Paris as well as in Florida. That ride is so cool. I like how it's to the music. I've been lucky enough to be on both of them. And I do say they're better than most of the coasters in the UK. And Disney just do such a good job with storytelling and kind of new rides and coasters generally. Thoughts on Black Mirror? So I'm assuming this is to do obviously with the new Black Mirror kind of experience at Thorpe Park. Personally, I love the show on Netflix. I think it's definitely like up there with my favorites. Favorite types of shows on Netflix. I am slightly concerned, not going to do it fully justice, because it is such a big IP and like name, and leading up to its opening, obviously it has been pushed back till this year, but there was very little marketing or information about it, and I don't think Charlie Brooker is involved or any of the main writers behind the actual show, so I don't think it will have the same kind of atmosphere or kind of look as Black Mirror. So yeah, I just hope they do it justice. But it is something I'm really interested to see how it is. Love the stream. Thank you, Adventure Aaron. What's the stream on? How long has it been going on? Right, I think I'm gonna wrap things up now. So big ups to everyone who's joined the stream. It's crazy the amount of support I've got during the stream. I'll definitely consider doing some more in the future. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Obviously stay tuned to the channel. I do have videos that I'm already working on. Just bear with me whilst I'm trying to get them up onto YouTube. In the meantime, whilst you're waiting for those videos to come out, make sure you follow all of Coast Connection's social media. So we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all in the description if you want to get on the link to check it out and follow, so you get the latest news on UK theme parks. Alright, thank you everyone for joining the stream, and I will see you in my next video on my next stream. See ya. Cheers.